Hey everyone, Paul Graff here with Remax Elite Brokers in Snohomish, Washington. Welcome to Sound Moves, the podcast about real estate in the Puget Sound region and sound advice for your life. This is my video series where I get to interview real estate agent referral partners around the country. And today I get to introduce you to my good friend, Shelie Williams. We originally met through Brian Buffini's events and in particular attended the Believers Breakfast together, most
Amen. Yes,
recently
we
at
did.
the Dallas event. So, Shelie, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Paul, for having me.
And how long have you been in business in real estate?
I started full time in the real estate business in 2010.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, I'm kind of ancient in a few ways, but
We're
that's okay.
here.
That just means I have more experience, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, why don't you give us a brief background as to who you are, where you grew up, and what other jobs you have had, your family, things like that.
Wonderful. Well, hang on to your seat because this can be a
Okay,
little bit of a roller coaster.
that's all right.
So, I was born here in Lubbock, Texas, where I now live. But when I was about 6 months old, my parents moved to Southern California.
Okay,
So I grew up in the Long Beach, Anaheim area.
nice.
And I used to come out and spend the summers in Lubbock with my
Uh-huh.
grandparents.
Okay,
Loved, I somewhat of a beach girl, but I'm not a water person. So
okay.
I just identified more with Texas.
Uh-huh.
And so I would come out and spend my summers with my grandparents. And my grandfather was a horse trainer,
Oh, wow.
specifically quarter horses in the
Uh-huh.
racing industry. So
Wow.
I
Okay.
spent, yeah, I said, you're going to go on a little bit of a roller coaster. So then I got into horses and started barrel racing and doing the whole rodeo scene and just fell in love with a lot of those aspects. And when I graduated high school, I moved directly to Lubbock and
Wow. Okay.
I have been in Lubbock. Oh my gosh, I'm really aging myself here. I've been in Lubbock over 40 years now.
Wow. Nice.
So it was one extreme to the other, but Lubbock has been my home for 40 years.
Interesting.
Um, I've worked in corporate America. I worked
Okay.
for Aramark at Lubbock
Uh-huh.
Christian University. So Lubbock has several universities, Texas
Yep.
Tech being our biggest, but we have two Christian universities. We have Wayland Baptist University
Okay.
and we have Lubbock Christian University as well, right here in Lubbock. And then we also have South Plains College, which has made a big name for themselves in the music industry over the years. And they
Okay.
are about 45 minutes from us in Levelland, Texas, but we do have a Lubbock campus as well.
Wow.
So Lubbock is a big educational hub.
Excellent. For those of you who may be interested in real estate investing, this is good information to know because college towns are a great place to buy multifamily kind of properties because the turnover is pretty regular in there. So,
Exactly,
yep.
exactly. We do have, and not only is our educational system one that brings a big draw for jobs, our
Uh-huh.
growth in the medical industry. So Lubbock is also, we refer to it as our nickname is the Hub City. And that's
Okay.
because we are the biggest city between Dallas and Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
we have a very diverse job market when it comes to educational,
Uh-huh.
agriculture, medical. So all of those are big draws. We are one of the biggest cotton growers in the United States
Wow.
in our
Okay.
area. So big in agriculture. So
Interesting.
that's
Yeah.
a big draw. We are right around 325,000 people in the Lubbock
Okay.
area, and
I
we
had
continue
no idea
to
Lubbock was
grow.
that big.
Yes, yes. And for those that may not know some of our musical history, so of course, Buddy Holly. I'm
Okay.
Yes, I know, but my parents grew up on Buddy Holly, so big draw. Buddy Holly called Lubbock home. Mac Davis, you may remember Mac Davis, a country
Yep.
music singer. He
Yep.
was from Lubbock, Texas. He had Lubbock, Texas in my rearview mirror. So, but he is now buried here. He came home, just in case anybody needs to know that.
Wow. Very
Um,
cool.
let's talk about Meatloaf. I mentioned South Plains College and Levelland. He actually was from that area, and he went to Lubbock Christian University.
Wow.
So South Plains College has a lot to do with the music industry, but so does Lubbock Christian. And I spent, oh my gosh, 17 years at Lubbock Christian University running their dining services on campus.
Sheesh. Okay. Well, what got you into real estate then?
Okay, so here's another roller coaster ride. Are you ready? I lost my husband in 2006 to liver cancer. And while I had a great job with Aramark, I just, I needed more to provide for my family. I was now a single mother of 3 boys, one that was in college, 2 still in high school. And I needed more to sustain my family. I was left with a lot of debt, a lot of medical debt. We didn't have health insurance at that time. So there was just a lot of debt left behind. From diagnosis to passing, it was 3 months.
Wow,
so
that is
there,
so fast.
there wasn't time to prepare. You were just going through.
Jeez.
So I really started looking into real estate. I had a couple of good friends that were in real estate. So I started doing just some paperwork for them and stuff back in 2007. And then I got my license in 2010 and basically jumped in.
Wow.
So it was out of need that I really jumped in there. But I also like to share with people that through the years of building my real estate business, I have set up a scholarship fund called Love Remains Scholarship Fund. And yes, I kind of base that off of 1 Corinthians 13:13. And, I call it Love Remains because, out of the 3 faith, hope, and love, the greatest of those is love.
Right.
And so this particular scholarship fund is to help widowers and or their children that need to go on to higher education. And it is not limited to a 4-year college. It could be a technical school. It could be even to a 2-year college, because for a single mother like myself, how I was left, you didn't have time to stop everything and go to a 4-year college.
Right.
Sometimes you just maybe need to finish a degree that maybe you started before you became a parent, and then you jumped full-time into parenthood. So it can help a widower that needs that degree to take care of their family, or it can help the children who lost a parent. So this goes back to kind of what we've been talking about this month, particularly with most of the agents across our Buffini network. When we're talking about generational wealth, this is where that comes in. This is, if you go to my website and you can read a little bit about my story, this is huge with me because it kind of fell on me to be able to provide that for my family. So proud to offer that scholarship, and my business funds that scholarship.
Wow. That's a powerful story. Thanks for sharing that.
You are welcome. You're welcome.
Go ahead.
Tell me some important characteristics about where you are, and that way I can share a little bit about how that may or may not compare to Lubbock. What is your median home price in your area, can I ask?
Well, in Snohomish County, we're in the high 700s for median home price.
Okay, so one thing that
In,
makes Lubbock affordable is our median home price is 253,000.
yeah. And they're nice houses too. I've seen
They
some of them.
are. Yeah, they're very nice houses. So
Yeah.
median home price 253. We can go up in the millions.
Yeah.
We have no problem getting that high, but for investors or
Yeah.
someone that is looking to make a move, we have a big influx of people from the West Coast right now
Mhm.
because they can sell on the West Coast and come here and buy mansions for a fraction of what they paid.
Mhm. Yeah. So, um, as mentioned earlier, our first connection was through Buffini. What do you like about the Buffini system?
Working by referral.
Mm,
You know, it is so great when we
mhm.
get to share with others when they have had a good experience and
Yeah.
they're willing to share that, and being able to go into someone's home. Just a short, for instance, I helped a couple not too long ago sell a vacant piece of land that
Okay.
they wanted to sell that piece of land so that they could make some home improvements, and they shared their experience working with me with their neighbor who is undergoing cancer treatments right now,
Uh,
and she needed to sell her home because she's having to live with her parents. And
wow.
she's been renting this property and she just would like to get out from underneath the weight of that. It's,
Uh-huh.
you know, it's people like that that have my heart,
Yeah.
that are kind of the underserved, and they need someone advocating for them, and that's really where a lot of my heart is
Yeah.
helping those that may not have such a loud voice get everything that they deserve as well.
Yeah. How long have
So
you been
working
with
by
Brian
referrals
Buffini?
huge. I'm sorry, tell me that again.
That's okay. How long have you been with Brian Buffini?
You know, I switched from being at Keller Williams for over 10 years to a
Okay.
smaller mom and pop boutique
Uh-huh.
agency back in 2019. And
Okay.
that's who introduced me to the Buffini program.
Wow.
And
Okay.
I wish I would have had Buffini from the beginning. It would have made my career skyrocket so much faster. But
Yeah.
I am blessed to have found him in 2019, dove in both feet and head first,
Yeah.
and have loved it. And it's just really taken my business to the next level.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, what do you do? I mean, you've already shared quite a bit about how you set yourself apart, but as far as just other like events and things that you might do with clients, what do you do that's different than some of the competition in your area?
Well, I host at least 3 client events a year. My
Okay.
biggest is being my Christmas event. So that's one of my biggest. Santa always does wonderful with getting involved with all of my clients and coming, and Mrs. Claus was able to come with him this past year. So having both of them made our picture sessions fabulous, and we've done it in the past. I've done
Uh,
it at, we call it Christmas on the farm.
okay.
So great
That sounds
local
fun.
farm that opens up their doors, and literally their doors to their barn area, sets up tents for us. We have all kinds of animals that they can feed, all of this. This year, because Shelly's bones are getting a little bit too brittle for some of the Lubbock winters,
Okay.
I'm bringing it completely indoors this year, but Santa and Mrs. Claus are still coming. And we are just, that's one of my favorite events, not only because
Uh,
of the time of year and what we're celebrating, but just having the entire family involved.
mhm,
I host a lot of Mother's Day events for mom to just get pampered,
mhm.
and Father's Day, we do kind of a toast where they can come and shoot a bucket of golf balls and have a drink if they would like it, or just sit and visit.
Nice.
And, just different events.
Yeah.
My ice cream socials are very well received as well.
Excellent.
We did a recent last year, I did the drive-in movies. So yes, we still have a
Okay.
drive-in movie theater in Lubbock, which is
Nice.
very nostalgic.
Yeah.
So they got to come by the carloads and watch movies with they got to pick from 4 screens that had different movies on it. And
Okay.
so it was just a fun event. The most
Interesting.
kids these
Yeah.
days haven't even seen a drive-in movie theater. So
No,
having that in Lubbock is just one of those old-fashioned, rite of passage. I think everybody needs to go to one.
that is such a cool idea. Yeah. So, what about some successes you had in your real estate career that you don't mind sharing with the audience today? Like,
Successes. Before I worked the Buffini program,
uh-huh.
I did some door knocking. Again,
Okay.
this was back in the early years
Yeah.
where door knocking was considered safe.
Yeah, I
Okay.
know.
Don't recommend it now, okay? Just
Right.
making that very clear. But I focused some on for sale by owners, and
Okay.
some of my best clients now were from door knocking for sale by owners.
Wow. That's so cool.
So that's a big success. They are still clients of mine to this day. We talk about it. I'm honest with them. I tell them I hated door knocking. You never, like a box of chocolates, you never know
Yep.
what you're going to get. Either they're going to
Yep.
be nice or they're going to slam the door in your face.
Yep.
But they welcomed me. I was able to visit with them. We connected on several different levels, but most of those for sale by owners that became good friends, we connected because they may have been in one particular that stands out is he had been called to
Uh-huh.
make a move back east.
Okay.
And he was unsure about what God was really asking him to do.
Huh.
And in his prayer session that morning, my door knock interrupted his prayer session.
Wow.
And he told me this was like the final, okay, God, I hear you, because I knocked on his door and
Yep.
he was not a for sale by owner at that time, but was considering putting his house up for sale. Him and
Huh.
his wife were praying over it, and I knocked on the door. I
Wow.
was just door knocking that particular couple of block radius. And
Yep.
yes, so they now reside in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nice. Nice.
So that was one that it was like, you never know where God's leading you sometimes.
You never know. Yep.
You never know.
These connections are crazy sometimes. Yep.
They are. They are.
Oh, that is so cool. Thanks for sharing those. Well, what about books and movies and quotes? Some of your favorites that really motivate you or inspire you?
I have just completed probably one of my favorite books
Uh-huh.
called Do the New You by Pastor Stephen Furtick. And
Okay.
if you haven't read some of his books, he is an amazing pastor. He pastors Elevation Church in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
And his book that just came out a month or two ago,
Uh-huh.
mind blowing to me.
Really?
It
Okay.
really is a good book, not just on mindset,
Uh-huh.
but on how God guides you and
Wow.
opening up your eyes and really setting you apart, setting some freedoms. We all have those strongholds on us,
Uh-huh.
and really being able to look at those strongholds. Before
Okay.
I read his book, I probably would have told you Joyce Meyer, Battlefield of the Minds,
Uh-huh.
was one of those that really stood out to me. But I
Okay.
think his new book just surpassed that for me.
Wow.
And looking at some of those, I can't say that they're statements, but I have built my business around Philippians 2:4. Do
Uh-huh.
not merely look out for the interest personal interest of others, but also, and I know I'm fumbling this because I don't have it right in front of
That's
me,
fine.
but I have it on all my business cards. So it's do not merely look out for your own personal interest, but also for the interest of others.
Mhm.
There you go.
Yeah.
Finally was able to get that out.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of the verse that I've built my business around.
Uh-huh. That's important too.
It
So,
is. It is.
yeah,
So, I'm one of those that I feel like if I'm not dead, God's not done.
right. So, what kind of things do you do where people can find you? So, like on social media, website, podcasts, email, publications.
Well, I'm not a secret agent,
Okay.
but I'm not big on social media. I do have a Facebook.
Uh-huh.
I do have a personal Facebook, and House Hunters Lubbock is on Facebook as well.
Okay. Nice.
Um, but I have my website, which is househunterslubbock.com.
Okay.
Um, but I don't
Love that
do,
name too.
well, thank you. I don't do a whole lot of social media.
Okay.
I am old school, and I believe more in the face to face. It's a
Uh-huh.
good tool. I'm a Dave Ramsey fanatic,
Uh-huh.
so I believe in using some of the tools, but my biggest tool is face to face. Let's
Okay.
get personal and talk face to face or voice to voice, and let me hear about your true needs and how I can help you.
Excellent. Excellent. I think for some people, I like face to face too, but in our area, people don't tend to get drawn to that as much. So,
Yeah,
I try and get more face to face meetings with people, but it's a challenge sometimes. So,
it is. It's still a
yeah,
challenge. But I'll jump on a Zoom call kind of like this and do a
yeah,
little bit of a Zoom meeting if I need to. Versus having a conversation via Messenger from
okay,
Facebook.
yeah,
I just prefer to be a little bit more personal.
yeah. I think that's great. So, when you communicate this way, people get more of an idea of your demeanor too,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
your mood at the time. It's hard to translate that in texts, right? So,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
even emojis don't do a great job with that.
No, and while we use them to help express through our
Yep.
text on our feeling, I
Mhm.
think it's your tone of voice and where you're able to hear theirs and
Yep.
for them to be able to hear yours.
Yep. Excellent. Well, what about a phone number that people can have to reach out to you too?
I absolutely would love to share that. So my phone number is 806-831-3989. I'm
Thank you.
happy to, if you want to send me a text first, I'm happy to do that, but I always want to connect voice to voice.
Excellent. And what are great referrals for me to send your way?
Referrals. So
Yeah.
typically, anyone that is considering the Lubbock area, or
Okay.
I service 100 miles around Lubbock. So that takes
Okay.
us quite a ways. If for
Yeah.
those that may not know exactly where Lubbock is, we are about an hour and a half from I-40
Okay.
up by Amarillo. So we are
Mhm.
south of I-40, and I-27, which goes from down South Texas and runs all the way from north to south. We are I-27 runs right through Lubbock.
Okay.
So gives you an
Nice.
idea. And we are basically 4 hours from the New Mexico border. So actually, you can hit New Mexico. I say 4 hours to Redosa, big popular area around here
Uh,
in New Mexico. You can hit the New Mexico border in about 2 hours
okay. Nice.
from where we are. So just
Nice.
kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of where we are here in Lubbock. But
Yep.
again, Lubbock, great investment area. Great
Uh-huh.
place for moving your family. We are very family oriented. We are in the
Okay.
Bible Belt.
Yeah.
So, but in that same token, we are also in Tornado Alley. So you need to know that.
Yeah. My parents live in North Dallas, Louisville, actually. So
Okay. So Dallas is about 4 hours from us.
yeah. Okay. That is so
Okay.
cool. Well, thank you so much, Shelie, for being a part of this today. It's great to spend some time chatting with you and exposing you to my my audience here. So hopefully
Wonderful.
this will
Happy to
generate business
address any
both
questions
ways
about our
between us.
area.
Yeah. So thank you so much for taking the time out today. I appreciate your chatting.
You are very welcome. I hope you have a blessed Memorial Day weekend. And if I can answer any questions about Lubbock, our market, or just our area in general,
Yeah.
happy to do that.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. God bless. Bye-bye, hun.
Thank you. Bye.